Hello class. Today we are going to learn about the chapter D and F block element. Okay, so let's begin. D and F block element. So whenever we are talking about D and F block element, basically D and F block element are known as transition element. Okay, if you have seen the periodic table, so in periodic table the group of 1 and 2, that is group 1 and group 2. Okay, so they are known as S block element, whereas from group 13 till 18 it is known as the P block element. Okay, and the group from 3 to 12 is known as what? It is known as D block element. Okay, so D block element are those which we are going to study in these blocks. Okay, and basically from group 3 to group 12. Now D block element are known as what? They are known as transition element because they lie between metals and non-metal. So S block elements are pure metal. Okay, and as you go from the left to right, okay, what you can see that the metallic property decreases whereas non-metallic property increases. So it is the transition, it lies between the purely metal. Okay, and a P block will consist of metal, non-metal and metalloids. Okay, so it is lying between them. D block element in their ground state or common state have partially filled D block. So as we are going to see the electronic configuration, you will come to know that they have partially filled D block orbitals. Okay, the general electronic configuration of D block element is n-1 D ranging from 1 to 10 and ns 0 to 2. Okay, so the valence electron are present in the penultimate shell, that is the second last shell, not the last shell will consist of the F block. Clear? Okay, now let's move further. See, now here we are going to see periodic table. This group 1 and group 2 consist of S block element. This whole will consist of P block element, whereas this from here to here. Okay, so this will consist of D block element. Now in D block element, this two columns will basically denote the F block element. Okay, so D block element we are going to learn them in series, not in the type of group. Okay, we are going to learn them in series, that is series 1, first series. Okay, or it is also known as 3D series. Okay, so this is the first series, or it's also known as the 3D series. It is basically consists of scandium to the zinc. Okay, then the second series is also known as 4D series. Okay, it is ranging from yttrium to cadmium. Okay, the fourth series is known, the third series known as 5D series, third series or 5D series. Third series will consist of lanthanum to mercury. Okay, so that is lanthanum is basically over here in F block, so not lanthium, but after lanthium that is hafnium to mercury. Okay, so and the fourth series, that is also known as 6D series. So this four series, that is first series, second series, third series and fourth series. So we are going to learn about D block in the horizontal manner and not in the vertical manner. Okay, so let's learn about them one by one. So first series, as we have discussed, so it is scandium till zinc. Okay, the atomic number starts from 21 to 30. Second series is 4D series, that start from yttrium to cadmium, atomic number that is 39 to 48. Okay, the third series will start from that is hafnium. Okay, so that is hafnium to the mercury. Okay, and the fourth series and the last series is 6D series. Understood? So these are the four series which we are going to learn in D block element. Clear? Okay, when I say it is 3D series means that the electron enters the D shell. Okay, when the electron enters the 3D shell, it is known as 3D series. Okay, when the electron enters in 4D shell, it is known as 4D series. When the electrons are in 5D shell, it is known as 5D series, and when it is in 6D shell, it is known as 6D series. Clear? Okay, Now, what are the general characteristics of d block element? D block element basically show metallic property, except mercury. Mercury exists in liquid state, other are all solids. Okay, so basically they show metallic property except mercury. They are all electropositive in nature. Okay, they are all what? Electropositive in nature. And as you go along the series, the electropositive nature will decrease. So that is from start of the series till the end of the series first. Okay, so as you go along the series, you can see that electropositive nature will decrease. Most of them form colored ion. Okay, most of the d block element form color ion. Why? We are going to study that. Okay, they have good tendency to form complexes. Okay, they show variable oxidation state. Compounds are generally paramagnetic in nature. What is paramagnetic? That is, they consist of unpaired electron. They form alloy with other metals. Number of transition metal and their compounds show catalytic property. Yes, the D series is famous for the catalytic properties, and most of the element of the D series are used as catalyst. They have high melting and boiling point and high heat of vaporization than the non-transition element. Okay, now let us learn about them more in detail. The general trend which we see in d block element, first one is the atomic radii. Okay, so as you go along the series, you can see that atomic radii. Okay, so if this is my table over here, these are my series. Okay, so as you go from left to right, your atomic number, your atomic radii will decrease. Okay, so atomic radii will decrease from left to right. Okay, but do remember that decrease in atomic radius becomes smaller after midway. So after midway, the decrease in radius becomes smaller. That is, very slightly decrease in radius have been observed. Okay, and at end of the each period, there is a slight increase in atomic radii. So at the end of the period, you can see that end of the period over here, you can see the slight increase in their atomic radii. Okay, now as you go down the group, what will happen? The atomic radius will increase. Okay, so down the group, atomic radius increases. Along the series, the atomic radius will decrease. Clear? Okay, now talking about ionization enthalpy. What is ionization enthalpy? It is the tendency of electron to remove it is the tendency to remove an atom electron from its outermost orbit. So basically it as D block element are less electropositive than S block element, but they are more electropositive than P block element. So what we can see over here, their ionization enthalpy will increase as you go along the series. Okay, as you go from left to right, you can see that their ionization energy will increase. Okay, and as you go down the group, you can see that their ionization energy will decrease. Okay, why does the ionization energy, it increases? Why does it happen? Because as the number of shell increases, it becomes very difficult to remove. Okay, so because of the increasing nuclear charge. So as you go along the series, the energy will increase. Clear? Now next thing is the metallic character. Metallic character of d block element is due to low ionization enthalpy. Okay, and the number of vacant d orbital in the outermost orbit. So metallic character of the d block element depend upon two factors, that is low ionization enthalpy and the number of vacant orbitals in the outermost shell. Do remember, greater the number of unpaired electron, greater is the number of bonds, and therefore greater is the strength of the bond. Okay, thus the hardness and enthalpy of atomization increases with increase in unpaired electron. As see, if the number of unpaired electron is more, okay, so this will promote more bonding. Okay, if more bonding is there, more strength is there. Okay, that shows us that more strength, that is more energy is required to break the bond. So melting point, okay, understood? So right to left, as you go from left to right along the series, the number of unpaired electron increases, that is from 1 to 6, and then it decreases to 0. Okay, so number of electron will increase from 1 to 6. Okay, then it will decrease to the 0. Now let us talk about the density of d block element. D block element have high density. So along the period, as you go from left to right, okay, the density increases as the atomic, so density will increase as the atomic radii will increase. Okay, and density will increase as you go down the group, as the atomic radii increases. Okay, now next is oxidation state. Now what oxidation state, basically we have already talked about this, that the d block element show variable oxidation state. Why? Because of both ns and n-1 d electron taking part in bonding. As both ns and n-1 d shell will take part in bonding, okay, or bond formation, they will show variable oxidation state. So the maximum oxidation state is the number of ns electron, okay, and the maximum oxidation minimum oxidation state is number of ns electron, and the maximum oxidation state is the number of ns electron in addition to the unpaired d block element. Okay, so the unpaired d electron plus the number of ns electron will be its maximum oxidation state. Clear? Okay, now let's move to the next thing. Now colored ion. Basically we have seen that d block element resemble, basically they show the colored ion. What do you understand by colored ion? Why do they show most colored ion? Okay, so they are colored in their solid and solution form. Okay, why the color, why you can observe the color? This colored ion is formed due to vacant d block. Okay, what happens, the whenever there is transition, the visible light will basically fall on the transition metal. Okay, and this transition metal will absorb the radiation. Okay, this transition metal will observe some radiation to undergo what? To undergo d to d transition, that is transition from d to d block. Okay, so the transmitted or the unobserved or the reflected light basically appeared colored. Okay, so the unobserved, which is not observed, the light which is not observed or reflected back will show what? Will appear color. Okay, so transition metal ion containing eitherly filled and half filled subshell will appear colorless. Okay, clear? Now let us learn about complex formation. Transition metal basically form large number of complexes. Why? Because they have small size, okay, large effective nuclear charge. Nuclear charge, what is nuclear charge? Nuclear charge is the energy of the nuclear to bond to keep, to attract the electron towards itself. Okay, and due to the vacant d orbital, okay, accept, and the tendency to accept lone pair of electron donated by the ligands. Okay, so these are the reason why they can form the colored complex, complex formation. Clear? Okay, now let us learn some of the magnetic properties of d block element. Now transition metal or d block element consist more than one or unpaired electron. Okay, they basically consist more than one unpaired electron due to n-1 d orbitals. Okay, due to this unpaired electron, they behave as paramagnetic substance, because those basically electrons which are paired are showing diamagnetic properties, and those which have which show unpaired electrons show paramagnetic properties. So does paramagnetic properties means what? They are attracted by magnetic field. So d block elements are mostly attracted by the magnetic field. Okay, so the transition element, they contain paired electron, will behave as diamagnetic substance, and they are repelled by the magnetic field. Okay, so magnetic character of the substance is basically measured in the term of magnetic moment. So magnetic moment is given by under root n plus 2 pm. Okay, where n is what? It is the number of unpaired electron. Clear? Now what is the catalytic property? As we have already seen in the first slide itself, that d block elements show catalytic property. Catalytic property, why they show catalytic property? Due to their ability to show variable oxidation state. As d block element are able to show variable oxidation state, they basically have the catalytic property. For example, iron and vanadium are the most catalyst, important catalyst, common catalyst used. Okay, for example, iron is used as a catalyst in manufacture of ammonia. Then vanadium oxide, pentoxide, is used in the manufacturing of sulfuric acid. Okay, then nickel is used in the hydrogenation of oil. Okay, that is what you can say, the reduction. Okay, cobalt is used for decomposition of CaCl2. Magnesium oxide is used for decomposition of KClO3. Okay, so these are some of the catalysts we have mentioned over here, which are used in various processes. Now the next topic is that D block element basically form the interstitial compound. Why they form the interstitial compound? Basically, D block element are small in size. Okay, due to the small size non-metallic atoms like hydrogen, carbon and nitrogen, they occupy the interstitial site in their lattice. Okay, what happens basically, the D block element, in D block element, the metals like hydrogen, carbon and nitrogen will occupy the interstitial site. Interstitial site is the empty site, okay, in their lattice. So this interstitial compound are known as non-stoichiometric in nature. They are basically non-stoichiometric in nature. Their properties, they basically have similar chemical properties as that of their parent atom, but they differ in their physical properties like higher melting point and boiling point than the parent's metal. Okay, so instead in interstitial compounds like ferrous, carbon, okay, they are quite hard. Clear? Okay, now let's do the next point. What is alloy formation? Basically, alloy, what are alloy are basically homogeneous mixture of two or more elements. When two or more elements are mixed in a definite proportion, they form what? They form alloy. Okay, so D block element, due to, as we have seen, their atomics, the change in their atomic size is very slightly you can observe the change in their atomic size. So you can see that they have nearly same atomic size. Okay, so they can easily take up the position of one another in the crystal. In alloy, we have already seen what will happen if this is my crystal lattice. Okay, due to what happened, their size is almost same. They can occupy each in their size. Suppose this, I have removed this one and put it with another element. Okay, doped it with another element, so it will form what? Alloy. Okay, so alloy containing mercury are known as what? They are known as amalgam. So there, whenever alloy basically the chemical properties is retained, but their physical properties are improved. Okay, alloy are made for the improvedness of physical properties. Like steel is made from iron. Okay, iron undergo rusting, basically corrosion, but steel do not. Okay, for example, brass is made by 60% copper and 40% zinc. Bronze is made by 90% copper and 10% tin. Stainless steel is made from steel plus chromium 18% and nickel 8%. Coinage silver is made up of silver 50%, copper 40 to 50% and nickel 5 to 10%. Clear? Okay. Now let us see some of the important elements or compounds formed by the D block element. The first one we are going to learn is potassium permanganate. Okay, so potassium permanganate, basically preparation, it is prepared by chemical oxidation. Okay, so when finely divided magnesium oxide is heated with strongly fused mass of caustic potash, that is KOH, and an oxidizing agent potassium chlorate, that is KClO3, dark green potassium permanganate KMnO4 is formed. Okay, so what are you going to do? You are going to heat finely divided magnesium oxide, okay, and fused with caustic potash, that is KOH, in presence of an oxidizing agent. Okay, it will give you KClO3 plus what? KMnO4. Okay, that is manganese oxide. Now basically, let us learn about more in detail the neutral and weakly alkaline medium. What are the reaction going to take place in neutral and alkaline medium? that is oxidation of iodide from I minus to IO3 minus. Okay, so two magnesium oxide in presence of water and ferrous ion is going to give you magnesium oxide plus 2OH minus plus IO3. Okay, now thiosulfate is oxidized to what? Sulfur sulfate. Okay, thiosulfate is oxidized to sulfate. It is done in presence of magnesium tetroxide plus thiosulfate. In presence of water, it will give you what? Magnesium dioxide. Okay, that is magnesium oxide plus sulfate plus OH minus. Okay, this whole things are carried out in neutral and weak alkaline medium. Now next is magnesium salt is oxidized to MnO2. Okay, so magnesium salt plus 3 magnesium ion plus water will give you magnesium oxide plus 4H. Okay, now oxidation of oxalic acid, that is MnO4 plus oxalic acid plus 6H plus will give you Mn2 plus carbon dioxide and water. Clear? Now what are the uses of potassium permanganate? It is used as antiseptic. Okay, it is used for unsaturation test in laboratory. It is used for volumetric analysis of reducing agent. Okay, it is used to detect halide in qualitative analysis, and it is the powerful oxidizing agent in laboratory. Please do remember this because this will help you in the organic chemistry. Clear? Okay, now let us move to the next compound which we are going, that is to learn, that is potassium dichromate. Potassium dichromate is basically prepared first by industrial production. In industrial production, finely powdered chromite ore is heated with anhydrous sodium, that is Na2CO3, okay, and a flux of lime in air in a reverberatory ferments. Okay, that is 4FeOCr2. This is chromite ore. Okay, it is heated with anhydrous sodium carbonate. In okay, you are going to get what? You are going to get potassium dichromate plus ferrous oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay, so sodium chromate, second process is sodium chromate is formed in this reaction. Now the sodium chromate from this is sodium chromate. This sodium chromate formed in this reaction is then extracted with water. Okay, it is then extracted with water and then treated with H2SO4 sulfuric acid to get sodium dichromate. Okay, so you get sodium dichromate and hydrated sodium sulfate, that is Na2CrO4 plus H2SO4 will give you Na2Cr2O7 plus 4NaCl plus Na2Cr2O7 dot H2O. Okay, now third process. Okay, the third process is the obtain, that is the sodium chromate obtained over here. Okay, so the sodium dichromate obtained over here. So potassium chloride, that is KCl, is added to the concentrated sodium dichromate. Okay, so sodium dichromate will basically precipitate less soluble orange red color potassium dichromate. So you will get the PPT of potassium dichromate. Clear? This is the process. This is the 3-step to obtain the potassium dichromate. First one, you have to basically heat it with anhydrous sodium carbonate. Okay, and the sodium chromate obtained has to be treated with sulfuric acid to get sodium basically sodium dichromate. The sodium dichromate is treated with KCl to give what? Potassium dichromate. So what are the properties of potassium dichromate? K2Cr2O7 is soluble in hot water. It is in the form of orange crystal which melts at 400 degrees Celsius. What is the use of potassium dichromate? It is used in photography, in hardening gelatin films, okay, in volumetric analysis for estimation of iron, iodine in redox titration, okay, and in chrome tanning in leather industries. Clear? Now let us learn about F block element. F block element, as we have seen, the two blocks which cannot be accommodated in the periodic table are placed at the bottom of the periodic table. Okay, so they are known as F block element. F block element are also known as inner transition element. Now F block element, basically these are the elements in which the last electron enters the F orbital. Okay, in which what the last electron will enter the F orbital. So the last electron enters in inner or penultimate shell, that is n-2 F shell. So this element are known as rare earth element. Now lanthanide, they start from serum. Okay, that is first one is lanthanum. Okay, that is lanthanum, then serum till lutetium. Okay, so you can see as you gradually go by series, the number of electron in F block will increase. Now properties of lanthanoids. First one is oxidation state. Basically lanthanoid will show most stable oxidation state, that is +3, but it will also show the oxidation state of +2 and +4 depending upon its ability to lose 2 or 4 electron during the chemical process or formation of compound. Okay, so the lanthanide has tendency to acquire +3 oxidation state. Okay, thus Sm2 plus, Eu2 plus and Yb2 plus act as good reducing agent, whereas Cu4 plus and Tb4 plus will act as good oxidizing agent. Do remember this. Now next let us see some of their physical properties. Okay, ionic and atomic radii. It is also known as lanthanide contraction. Now what is lanthanide contraction? Let us know. There is regular decrease in atomic radii and ionic radii. Okay, with increase in atomic number. So as you go from left to right, there is increase in atomic radii. Okay, so let us learn what are the causes of lanthanide contraction. So what will happen? Nuclear charge increases by 1 unit. Okay, one nuclear charge will basically increase by 1 unit at each successive element, and a new electron, the 4f subshell. Clear? Okay, so due to the peculiar shape of F orbital and the imperfect shielding, what will happen as the nuclear charge will as you go along the series, what will happen? The screening effect will increase as the screening or the imperfect shielding of 4 F electron, they are loosely held, that is the ionization enthalpy will decrease. Okay, so what will happen over here? By 4 electron by other electron from nuclear attraction. Okay, thus the size of lanthanum keeps on decreasing. Okay, because of the poor shielding effect, what will happen? The nuclear charge will increase and ultimately the size of lanthanum will decrease. The consequences, what are the consequences of such feature? That the atomic radii of 5D transition element are very close to that of 4D transition element. Okay, so that crystal structure and other properties of this element are very similar. So 5D transition metal, the atomic radii of 5D transition is very similar to 4D. So that is why the crystal structure or the properties of this are very similar. Okay, so the atomic radii, so the ionic radii M3 plus decreases from lanthanum to lutetium. Okay, as a result, covalent character will increase in their oxides and hydroxide. So you can see that the basic strength basically increases from lanthanum hydroxide to lithium hydroxide. Now let us learn about color and spectra. Some trivalent ion like M3 plus are colored in their solid state as well as solution. Why? Because of their FF transition. as we have already seen that whenever FF transition is taking place, some of the radiation, white light radiation is observed, okay, and the unobserved white light radiation is reflected back, okay. This is responsible for the colored nature of the ions. What is the use of lanthanoid? Lanthanoid are used to form alloy such as misch metal or pyrophoric alloys, okay. Cerium salt are used for dyeing curtains and also as a catalyst. The compound of lanthanide are used in making magnetic and electronic devices. Their oxides are used in glass industries. Lanthanide are used in lasers recently, okay. Now let us see what are actinoids. The elements in which the last electron enter one of the f orbital, 5f orbital, are known as actinoids, okay. They are also called second inner transition element. Their electronic configuration basically consists of 5f 1 to 40, 6d 0 to 1 and 7s2, okay. So an actinoid starts from thorium till lawrencium, clear, okay. And as you can see, the number of electron in f block will gradually increase. Now let us learn about some of the properties of actinoids. Oxidation state, the most stable oxidation state is again +3, okay. It can also show oxidation state of +4 and higher oxidation state of +5, +6 and +7, okay. So the oxidation state basically first increases up to the middle series and then it will decrease. Atomic and ionic radii, that is actinide contraction. Why does this happen? Due to increase in nuclear charge, poor shielding effect, okay. Due to increase in nuclear charge and poor shielding effect and the decrease in size of atom across the series, okay. This is known as what? Actinoid. So it will show a resemblance, the basically you can see it will show resemblance to the 4d orbital. That is why the contraction is seen. This contraction is however greater from the element in this series, resulting into poor shielding of 5f electron. Now what is the difference between lanthanide and actinides? They show +2, +4 oxidation state and most common +3. This will show +3 oxidation state. Beside this it will show +4, +5, +6 and +7, okay. Lanthanide except promethium, they are non-radioactive, okay, but all actinides are radioactive. Lanthanides do not form oxoions, whereas actinide forms oxoions like UO2 plus, okay, PuO2 2 plus, UO plus, etc. Lanthanide have less tendency to form complex ion, whereas actinide have greater tendency to form complex ion, okay. The compounds of lanthanide are less basic, whereas the compounds of octanide are more basic. So this was all about the lanthanide, actinide and d block element, okay. Hope you have understood it, and in next lecture we are going to solve some of the important MCQs on this chapter, okay. Thank you class.